Hola clase, en este video voy a explicar la diferencia entre los artículos definidos y los artículos indefinidos. So in this video, I'm going to explain a little bit about the differences between the definite and indefinite articles in Spanish. So let's begin. So we'll start with the definite articles, or in Spanish, los artículos definidos. And those are the articles we use when we're talking about a specific noun. In English, we have one word, and it's the. In Spanish, we have literally 4 ways to say the word the, and here they are. So these are going to correspond to both number and gender, because in Spanish we have nouns that are either masculine or feminine, and either singular or plural. So the first one is la, and that's the singular feminine form of the definite article. And to give you an example, I can say the woman, and in Spanish that would be la mujer. I'm talking about a specific woman. The noun is singular, so it's going to be la mujer. The masculine form of that is el. So if I want to say the car, for example, I would say el carro. Go ahead and say that at home. El carro. That's a good one to practice rolling your R's with, right? Now, if I make those nouns plural, I'm going to have to use the plural form of the article. So if here I have the woman, la mujer, and I want to change that to the women, if I want to make that plural, I would say las mujeres. Okay? And again, down here, if I want to make el carro plural, I would say los carros. Los carros. Okay? So those are the definite articles. We have 4 of them. They correspond to number and gender. And again, they are la, el, las, and los. So we also have the indefinite articles, and just as the name implies, indefinite articles are not talking about specific nouns, but just nouns in general. So instead of the car, the specific car, if I wanted to say a car, I would use the indefinite article. So the indefinite articles are una, un, unas, and unos. So again, these are going to correspond to number and gender, okay, depending on what the noun is that they're preceding. So if I have a singular feminine noun, I'm going to use the indefinite article of una. So for example, una mujer, and that would be a woman. Okay. If I want to make that plural, I would say unas mujeres, and that would translate to some women. Okay. The masculine form of the indefinite article is un. Okay, that's the masculine singular form. The masculine plural form is unos. So to go back to our previous example, if I want to say a car, not a specific car, but just a car, I would say un carro. Okay? And if I want to make that plural, I would say unos carros. And again, that would translate roughly to some cars. Okay. So here I have some example sentences, and we're going to use this lovely travel poster from Spain just as kind of a visual. So the first sentence says, el avión vuela por el cielo. Go ahead and say that. El avión vuela por el cielo. So we have the airplane flies through the sky. So hopefully you're recognizing the definite articles, okay, in this sentence. We're talking about a specific airplane. It's right there in the poster. So since I'm talking about that specific plane, I need to use the definite article. So it's el avión. Vuela is our verb. That means to fly. So the plane flies through, and now we're not talking about a sky, we're talking about the sky. There's only one, right? It's very specific, so we use the definite article. So el avión vuela por el cielo. That's the first example. The second example is the same sentence, but now we're using indefinite articles. Okay, so now we're saying un avión vuela por el cielo. So this would translate to a plane flies through the sky. And notice I don't change el cielo because it wouldn't really make sense to say a sky, right? There's only one. So un avión vuela por el cielo, a plane flies through the sky. Okay. The third example here says la mujer tiene el jarrón. Okay. La mujer translates to the woman. So looking back at our visual here, we're talking about this specific woman. So that's why I'm using the definite article. So la mujer tiene, the woman has the jug. And there it is right there. Es un jarrón verde, right? So we're talking about that specific jug that's in her hand. If I change this to a definite excuse me, this is the definite. If I change this to an indefinite article, it would change to una mujer. Now I'm not talking about this specific woman, I'm just talking about any woman, right? I'm saying a woman. Una mujer tiene un jarrón. Okay? So that's the difference between the definite article and the indefinite article. And finally, la mujer está al lado del mar. That translates to the woman is next to the sea. Okay? Again, I'm talking about this specific woman, so I'm using the definite article. I'm saying la mujer. If I write una mujer está al lado del mar, I'm saying a woman is next to the sea. I'm not talking about any specific woman, I'm just saying a woman. So hopefully with these you can see the difference between the definite article and the indefinite article, and when you're reading Spanish, when you're speaking Spanish, you can hopefully use those properly. Okay, so in the previous sentence there were two contractions, and I wanted to talk a little bit about contractions in Spanish. In the entire Spanish language we only have two contractions, and they are de and el equal del, and a and el equal al. So de literally means of, el we just saw means the, okay, and notice there's no accent. We're going to talk about what el with an accent means later on, but de and el need to be combined together to form del. So it would be incorrect for me to say la mujer está al lado de el mar. That just doesn't sound right. Instead I have to say la mujer está al lado del mar. I have to contract the de and the el. So that's the first contraction that we have in Spanish. And the second one is a plus el. And when we put those two together we get al. So it would be incorrect for me to say la mujer está a el lado del mar. That just doesn't sound right. I have to say la mujer está al lado del mar. And that literally translates to the woman is next to the sea. So here we have these sentences right here to show you. So la mujer está a el lado de el mar is completely incorrect. It just kind of sounds awkward and it feels awkward to say, right? So what I have to do here to form these contractions is, just like we saw previously, a and el need to be contracted to al, and de and el need to be contracted to del. Again, those are the only two contractions in the entire language, and they're right there for you. So the correct way to say this sentence would be la mujer está al lado del mar. Go ahead and say that. La mujer está al lado del mar. Okay, so that wraps it up. So to sum it up, we have los artículos definidos, the definite articles, and they are la, el, las, and los. And we also have los artículos indefinidos, and those are una, un, unas, y unos. Muchas gracias, clase, y hasta la próxima.